Juneteenth. Its significance is not solely about when the announcement was made, stamped, and signed, but the day the news finally arrived to those still enslaved. The Civil War ended. The Confederate States failed in their effort to keep their free labor by fighting their fellow Americans they celebrated freedom with in 1776. Then the time came in 1863 when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, giving every Black American their rightful freedom. So why is Juneteenth not until the 6th month in 1865? Well, there are theories that the word hit the South, but the slave owners suppressed the message. It wasn't until a general and his Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas to enforce it. Having to go from plantation to plantation, knowing the general was in the South, some owners released them right then. Others tried to hold out until after the harvest, and many attempt to defy the order altogether. Being told, ordered, forced to do what they fought so hard not to. Some owners offered to pay to keep the labor. It's also mentioned by an ex-slave named Susan Marriott. Owners like hers fabricated an agreement. Just stay a few more months. Let's get through the harvest. You'll get a mule and some land, neither of which was followed through with. And others weren't hearing any of it and resulted to threatening their now freedmen. Hundreds of thousands of Black folk, upon hearing of their freedom, no money could keep them there. No threat could suppress them. So they ran for it. Imagine having to run to a freedom you were already granted. Some didn't get any resistance and were fortunate to be able to celebrate. But others, as word spread and they gathered what they can manage to carry, left, but soon were hunted. Slave owners with rage and hatred seeked them out, beat them, shot them, lynched them. Many jumped in the river, but were riddled with bullets as they attempted to swim to freedom. Imagine the terror, the adrenaline, the determination they felt to go from leaving bondage to now trying to escape sudden death. There were so many Negroes dangling from trees, it was like a purge of those who dared to be free. Finally, many escaped far enough they could breathe a sigh of relief. They made it. Juneteenth is about when Northerners traveled down to the South and made the slave owners release their workers they were no longer privy to. When Black people who had been treated so inhumanely learned that it is now their legal right to be free and from under the clutches of a plantation's owner and their family, because we know some of the women were just as bad as the men. When freedom was supposed to ring for them as well in 1776, but it wasn't heard until June 19, 1865. That is why we celebrate Juneteenth.